All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Anything and Everything podcast. We have our guest here today performing. This is Colin Isotti.
Like a broken spoke or a bike with one wheel. He was a man with no hope, who didn't know how to feel anything but love, or a heart of cold steel. Till she chose to show a warmth that was real. And then he said, I thought I was a tramp, but now I know I'm not a fool, because I now know how much I love you. These pretty little stamps and these hard-working tools will send out thank you letters and build this home when I marry you. So now we'll take a stand for love and for truth, 'cause there's one old world meant for us two. So there they both are, traveled so far to meet hand in hand for a brand new start. We'll see what the future holds for these two hearts. There could be trouble, we know, but it can't break them apart. He said, now I finally found what I'm looking for, a love so profound, someone to adore. Get me up off this road, pick me up off the floor, so we can go home, love forevermore. Thought I was a tramp, but now I know I'm not a fool, 'cause I now know how much I love you. These pretty little stamps and these hard-working tools send out thank you letters and build this home when I marry you. Sometimes I think I can, but now I know it's not true, 'cause without you in this world, babe, I don't know what I'd do. So now
All right.
All right.
We are back. Back here, anything and everything. Episode 4.
Yes, we are.
Hey, Jake, can
Making
you
progress.
you introduce our guest today?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, he looks like Thor, but he sounds like Jesus. The one, the only, Colin Isotti.
Hey, what's
Yes,
up?
sir.
What's up? Hey, so thanks for really like accepting our invitation. You coming over here?
Thanks,
man.
y'all.
Yeah, I mean,
This is amazing.
I'm one of the biggest fans. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just gonna ask you to come over here because, like, yeah, no, I'm one of the biggest fans. So, but yeah, if you guys didn't know, Colin Isotti,
Yeah.
I keep pronouncing it Isotti, like I
Whatever.
yeah. He and I and Jay perform at the Artist Spotlight right here.
Yeah, at the Amsterdam.
At the
Shouts
Amsterdam.
out to Naomi.
Yeah, shout out to Naomi at the Amsterdam, and man, you got a really great set that day as well. So, but yeah, Jay,
Y'all did too. That was great.
yeah, that was
You were
good.
great, bro.
Yeah. All right. So, can you go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Right.
You wanna
You
get
can
closer?
sit, yeah, can
Yeah,
close
just
a
get
little, just a
closer.
little bit.
All right.
Yeah,
There
there
we
you
go.
And you can move this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can
move-
touch it if you want.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
can move it up. You can, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
We hear me? We hear
There
all
you
good?
go,
All right.
man.
Great. Well, so as I said, my name's Colin. Come from up north, real quiet town. There's not a stoplight in the town.
Yeah.
Up in New Hampshire, Appalachian Mountains,
Nice.
northern side of it. So, very rural background. And yeah, got brought down here to Clarksville to finish doing my studies in classical guitar. I've been a classical guitarist since I was real young, and that's what brought me down here. And been a real privilege, you know. Strange, still getting used to Clarksville. I know it's not really the biggest city, but for me, it's it's like, oh, I'm in a city now.
Right.
You know, where I was 7 towns, went to one high school, and now there's one high school with as many people as in my town. About
Oh.
7 of them in Clarksville. You know. What I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, it
That's-
sounds a lot bigger than I'm used to.
That's crazy for me because when I'm on the other way, like I'm from LA, so I'm used to like a lot of people, and then so it's different when like people that coming from not really less population coming to like the big city, and they think like Clarksville is like a city.
Yeah.
It's like
right. Yeah, no.
it's in the other way from mine.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And I'm used to Boston. Boston's a big city. It's cool. It's only a couple hours from my ancestral home up there, but I just visit it every once in a while.
So what is the city? Where exactly like where you grew up?
It's called Antrim. It's close to the border of Vermont and Massachusetts.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So southwest New Hampshire.
Right.
Snow culture for sure. Lots of chopping wood and some snowboarding stuff too.
Well, you got that game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So are you familiar with Fort Drum?
Ford Drum?
Yeah, Fort Drum, New York. No. Okay.
No, upstate New York.
Yeah.
No, I haven't spent enough time up there. I got to visit a Finger Lake once, which that's real pretty, but
Okay.
no, haven't spent much time over there. A lot of time more in Maine, and then the coast. The ocean's right there, so a little bit of striper fishing down in Boston.
Good seafood over there.
Yeah, great seafood.
Damn, I'm missing out.
Yeah.
I'm missing out.
And it. It was a crazy story. I've done some construction in my day, and I got this oddball job, that brought me down to the Virgin Islands, which is of all places to get paid to help install windows in this fancy house.
It's beautiful out there.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Virgin Islands? Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Work 16 hours a day though. It's exactly.
You just jump into water.
Yeah, exactly. You just jump in the water after work, go to bed, wake up, and work again. That was it. It was pretty, setting anyway for the work, but and before that, it was all the COVID stuff, and at that time, I was ready. I had taken about 10 years off of my classical guitar studies, really. I had played a lot, but I hadn't pursued my degree or any academic stuff for a while, and as an opportunity came up to apply for a master's, and I had done that, and I was waiting for a reply back, but I never got a word back from APSU, and so I took the job down in St. John. About 3 days into it, I'm like on a balcony taping a window, and I get a call, and it's the Stanley, the local professor, like, Colin, would you like to take that master's degree now at APSU? We kind of need to know right now. I'm like, usually I have like 3 days to figure it out or something. Like, all right, sure, let's do it.
Hold on, let me put this window in real quick.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
That's good, man.
Yeah, traveled down here. It's been magical since. I'm like, well, I'm an hour north of Nashville. Always wanted to check that out. Might as well.
Yeah. So when you came down here, that was your first time in Nashville as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think I've been to the West Coast a little bit. Been to Texas like once. And then other than that, I'd never really explored the middle of the country. So this is like a whole new river country. It's a completely different thing for me.
You're going to be a touring artist? And
Yeah.
You're going to be in a different state every night?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's gonna be crazy. Life is gonna get. You're gonna have a lot more crazy stories.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
But I recommend that you drive, not fly.
Yeah.
Because like the drive from here, because I did it like from here to California, it's beautiful, man. You really appreciate like people
26
fighting about lands and everything, and I'm like, dude, we got plenty out here. Like, especially when you pass Texas, like New Mexico, all the way to Arizona. Dude, it's just like there's like a lot of land, and I'm like, whoa, you feel like you're in another planet.
Yeah.
Especially when you hit like a sunset in Arizona, like red dirt and sunset sun. Oh, it's beautiful. But
Talk me into it, man.
Yeah, man.
I might take a drive one day.
Do it, man.
Maybe.
Yeah.
26 hours though. Yeah, I don't know about that part.
2.5 days. That's pretty much what it took me.
Driving. Forget about. That's the one thing. I'll drive like 6-7 hours, but that's my limit these days. I gotta find a hotel or camp somewhere. Go for a hike at least. Drove back down from New Hampshire this most recent time. So, and my girlfriend Jessica, we managed to stop and have a hike at least every like 3-4 hours. That really helped.
I met Jessica, and the dynamic between you two is just it flows, man. Y'all look
Yeah, we
good
gotta have
together.
both of you performing on the next one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
100%.
That'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, she's really
Yeah.
helping. She's got a voice of an angel, and a lot of my songs really did need some harmony on them. And
Right.
it's just everything's lining up. She's singing a few songs with me on the set list, and yeah, we're kind of just building the set. And I'm booking more gigs lately. I'm booking 2025 now, so
There
here
you
we
go.
go.
Nice,
We're trying
nice,
to book
nice.
The whole
There you
year.
go.
Yeah, book my guy right here,
Yeah.
man. Stop
Yeah.
being cheap, too.
Yeah. He's like 7 feet tall. Like
Yeah.
he fold you like in 7 pieces.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Top tier performance.
No,
Oh,
but yeah,
thank you.
your performance, man. I'm always a fan. Like your guitar playing, your voice, and everything. Like I'm
thank you.
like once, like when I heard you, I was like, this dude is good.
Yeah, man. I like
Yeah.
the classical aspect that you
Oh,
like
thank
incorporate in your style, you know. And it's always been like a favorite of mine to learn. Like I tried to like learn it on my own. Like it's not working. But pretty soon, I guess I get to
Yeah.
learn from the best. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you should.
we'll be doing lots of work together.
Yeah, and if you get a chance to work with Stanley, he's one of the best in the world for it. And
Yeah.
he's really a great teacher. And but yeah, classical guitar, right? So that whole thing in Antrim, that little town up in New Hampshire, happened to be a really well-known classical guitar player. His name is Frank Wallace, and I lost him too soon. That was part of my thing coming down here. Was Frank was passing away from cancer, and I was working with him a lot more, helped him transition into the next stage of existence, and and then COVID happened, all that stuff, and but that had got me back in the classical guitar thing and just getting back to fingerstyle and taking it seriously. I'd never stopped playing fingerstyle, but I had started studying flamenco actually a lot
right.
more just on my own. Really, not really. I should have had a proper teacher, but I was figuring it out. I did get to go to Spain. I had a crazy trip workout too. I got to go to Spain and learn that, and but yeah, and then coming back, I got more in touch with the reading and the literature side of things, and and working with Frank really inspired me. And then I got the opportunity, it came up, and so I started with Frank when I was really young. I was about 7 years old, started playing classical guitar with Frank.
Wow.
So, and he's a father in my musical journey everywhere, For a long time, I was just a guitar nerd, and that went right into just playing electric guitar, and that's all I wanted to do is just put my head down and play guitar leads forever. And after a while, I got into songwriting, and then mixed that with a little bit of Appalachian music,
Right.
because we're in the woods out there. Bluegrass found its way.
Oh
and,
yeah, I love that type of music too. Yeah,
yeah, like
bluegrass.
good, it's virtuosic. They fly. I love that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
And then the
pretty
harmony
cool,
on
man.
that one too.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Harmony.
I got a question, not to cut you up. For classical guitar, do you recommend nylon, or is it better with like just steel strings? all
Oh
the
no,
time?
you got to do nylon.
Gotta do nylon?
Yeah, nylon, and preferably get your fingernails growing out. It's never fun.
Yeah, I told him
Wait,
about
on
that.
so
your
wait,
right- on
okay.
your right
Oh,
hand.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. That's never
Yeah.
fun. Nah, because
Yeah.
my fingers get stuck on the
Yeah.
strings. Yeah, because I tried to learn like paso doble and flamenco
Yeah.
when I was younger, but never. I got to a good point, but then school got in the way, and then
Yeah.
But now, given the opportunity again, I guess I'll find a new love for it.
Heck yeah. Hey, we'll get you going there.
Yeah, man.
Get you reading some stuff. The cool part with the classical is the self accompaniment, right? We can hold a melody and we can kind of read some keyboard music. We can read. This beautiful part about it.
Yeah.
It gets your composition brain working real well, and I've just been happy to be a part of that. It's developed my ear real well, and definitely sides of theory and songwriting. Things don't convert perfectly, right? So if you practice classical, it's not going to make you a great electric player or a bluegrass player or anything like that. But in ways, they start to overlap that are interesting. And and so it got me started with music, and then I got to some Americana, and then I find myself in Tennessee when this Americana explosion. But 5-6 years ago, I was watching this series called Western AF, and these guys like Coulter Wall and Luke Bell and Sierra Farrell, they're less heard of at that point in time. Tyler Childers, all that, it's like cool, and then they've just blown up since. And it's like in the past 3 years since I moved here, I've just seen everything go straight through the roof, and got the Americana Fest, and I'm just stoked to be around here in the area, you know, because
it's the perfect spot.
That's perfect,
Yeah.
man.
Nashville is right around the corner, and I mean, especially right now as well. Like I grew up in the Philippines, and you know, when I was in California, I work as a caregiver, and the only because I work out in the mountains. It's called Santa Clarita. It's mountain area, and then the radio. They have a radio in the facility, and it can only pick up country radio station, which is Go Country 105. That's it. And then pretty much like I listened to all this country music, and I'm like, I fell in love right away. You know, but I already heard country music in the Philippines, and my first country song is Whiskey Lullaby.
Oh.
And I was in my emo phase that
Oh
time.
my God!
So I'm like,
Can you imagine?
I can see it.
and I was like, oh my God, there's more sadder song than emo. Like, I'm just singing.
Exactly. That's what they call it. It's like blue collar man's emo. Yeah.
If you've seen
Tear to beer, you know?
the music video, I don't know if you've seen the music video Whiskey Lullaby.
No, I never heard that.
If
song.
you've seen that music video, man, I was like, that thing is sad. I was like,
yeah.
I love it. So I was
Exactly.
like, so that was my first exposure with country music, and then when I moved to California, Go Country 105, and I heard Chris Stapleton,
Yeah.
and Luke Bryan, and you know, all these great musicians, the country musician, and I'm like, I like the storytelling. I like when I'm listening to music, it brings me to different, you know, location and situations and all the same.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, when I started out real technical guitar stuff, and it's a funny story with me because I got all this fancy guitar styles, but my journey's actually been to do less technical, complex things and just learn how to write a simple song that's storytelling. You know, because I used to just have a lot of riffs and cool lyrics, but wasn't telling a story. You know, and discovering Chris Christopherson was real big for me. He's a huge influence.
He's a good
Yeah.
vocalist.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, he always said he sounded like a frog, but they made him record an album anyway. But he, just his lyrical content, that kind of idea, real storyteller, real poet. You know, that's what I'm trying to get there. You know, it's been a long
you're
journey.
doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you.
You're doing it, man. What inspired like your first song? Like, can you remember the first song that you ever wrote?
Yeah, it was actually I was into more blues and R&B kind of stuff back then. I started, electric guitar. I started with just heavy blues, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, and rock and stuff like that.
Nice.
And it's kind of pretty, you know, soulful kind of thing that I had going. What is it? God, I wish I had it recorded. Forget the name of that song, but it's all started there. I definitely had a lot of chords going on, which was cool. Some of it was pretty, but you know, I've learned you don't need more chords necessarily. You just need exactly what you need, right?
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Only what the song asks for, which has been a long lesson for me. So, you know, and I was the bands I was in a band, a 3-piece for a while, and what we did was a mix of like blues and rock and punk and Black Keys and lots of like a mix of like there's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was just like spread the gamut, and I was yelling my voice out every once in a while, you know. But I started, you know, my vocal registers. I've explained it. My vocal registers changed like 6 times in my lifetime.
Wow. I feel you.
It's like,
I know that.
yeah. So you know, I'm like, all right. You know, hearing Johnny Cash, I'm like, you know what? I really like that. And also some deep singers like Leonard Cohen. I get a lot of inspiration from them. And yeah, I'm enjoying settling into a lower voice so I don't have to fight for it so much.
I mean, every musicians will go to that phase where trying to find their voice. You know, you're familiar with AC/DC vocalists.
Yeah.
They're saying like from like Goodbye Love into like AC/DC. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a lot of skill to really like trying to find your vocal range and like, you know. But I think every musician struggles with that. I myself struggle with like trying to find my voice. I mean, I'm used to singing R&B and pop and 80s music, and then trying to sing like you know, like Americana, like blues and Chris Stapleton type of music, you know, more deeper and everything. I was like, you know, it's trying to work on it, but
It's good though. You got that holler for the Chris Stapleton stuff though too. You can hit that upper range. It's always good to hear you sing.
He's
that.
a super fan.
Yeah.
Super fan. But you have like both of you have like unique voices that I haven't heard from anybody. Like the first time I heard him sing a Chris Stapleton song, I don't know much about like Chris Stapleton music, and I thought he wrote it because you know what I mean. Yeah, I really did. I thought he wrote it, and I asked him, he was like, "No, man, that's Chris Stapleton." I was like, "Wow, okay." That's good though. That's good.
You've got the smoothest voice ever, Jay.
Appreciate you.
Your
Appreciate
pitch range, it doesn't have a top end. It sounds like sometimes.
I gotta be careful when Jay's singing. I make sure I'm not walking or I'll slip. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds smooth. Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, sometimes it's not the best, but yeah, I have to keep. It's like just keep working. Like I feel like I'm still finding my voice. If that makes any sense, but
yeah.
But
yeah, that's a big thing, you know, learning in school too. Stanley's a big one on this, kind of dispelling the myth of talent, right? You know, it really, you got to work on stuff, you know what I mean? And kind of like what Bob Ross says, what he says, he's like, talent is just, pursued interest. So anyone can be talented. You just need to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Ed Sheeran says the same thing. There's no secret to success. It's just hard work. Like you have to really work. Yeah.
And things slip, right? The voice isn't the same every day.
I know, man. Like I have a show later on today, and it's like I haven't sang really all week, so I'm curious as to how this will go.
Yo,
but yeah,
I did the APSU Got Talent or something like that.
Oh, really?
I mean, for all the days that my voice gonna pick like the worst day, it'll be like in front of like hundreds of people. Like, why would it be now? Like, what? I got all these like smaller venues, and then now I get like right in front of 100 people. Like,
it was a lot of people.
I couldn't. Oh yeah, it was a big event.
Man, that was your moment.
Yeah,
there'll be
I
others.
But again, like that's why like if you're singing, musicians, like mind, health, body really like applies to all of it. You know, like if you're stressed out that day, you're like there's something like bad week or whatever, the audience you will hear it. You're not gonna perform at the peak, so you gotta be right on your mind. You gotta be right on your soul and your body. Really, like it applies for like musicians as well, not just like athlete or whatever. Like
man.
You know?
Definitely having my gig last night. It was Halloween night, and the spirits were in my PA system, and everything was going wrong. I was so stressed out. I was like, first hour, I'm just like, I'm off, you know.
Where'd you play?
Played at O'Neill's last night.
Okay.
So cool. I do like that spot. You know.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
But like what I've learned about that, like the bad days, if like it's hard to adapt it, but if you get into it, it'll help. Like even if you've been having a crappy day and you know you have to go and perform, you don't feel it. Like everything just feels heavy. You know your voice feels heavy. You don't feel like you feel like bored about doing music that day because of, you know, whatever transpired. It's like turning it into an emotional thing. Like, you know, sometimes it's hard for men to cry.
Yeah.
So turning all that built up like pressure or sadness or whatever, or like frustration and anger that you had throughout the day into a crying emotion while singing and just let it go. Like let it go in the song, you know what I mean? It helps. I tried it a couple times just to make sure that I'm not bullshitting myself, and it actually worked. I think I'm gonna do that today.
Get real pissed off and sad, and then just yell it out on stage.
Yep.
You're pissed off and sad, and you sing "I Love You" song.
Exactly.
Trust me, it'll help. Like it helps if you have that mindset and you transpose it in that kind of way. For some weird reason, it worked. Well, for me, but you know, it works. It works.
So who's your inspiration, like musically?
You know, I just
like what's gonna be your top 3 Spotify most played song?
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's definitely a different. You know, it depends the day. You know, it might be classical music one day, might be some flamenco another. You know, and at this point, guitar is a really interesting instrument. I've learned 5 types of guitar at least at this point. Everything has different technique and a different thing. So I do know 5 different instruments actually. They're all tuned the same as the way I explained it.
Crazy.
Mandolin and banjo.
No, not even those. Just flamenco guitar, classical guitar.
Yeah, the way to play it.
Flat picking. You know, bluegrass is even a lot different than Travis style picking. You know, on steel string. You know, John Prine and stuff like that. And then you got electric guitar, which has a lot of. You can learn metal and all the different types there. I always kind of stuck with a bluesy kind of rock and roll thing. Nice. But you know, everything's a different thing. I guess just part of my journey is figuring out how to do that stuff. I love flamenco for the cool techniques we can do with percussive things and strums.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, great rhythms. Afro-Cuban rhythms and different Latin rhythms, and just kind of, I guess I've always had trouble picking one to stick with. And with that, it's with all those different types of styles. I always kind of have like one influence for each of those styles. What I mean? And and songwriting lately has definitely been Colter Wall. It's been huge.
Good.
Early
really
Colter Wall. His later stuff's good too, but that early, real sad, real dark kind of sound.
That's good though.
I heard that he injured his vocal because he's just singing too low. Like he injured his vocal cord or something like that.
I don't know. I think he was born sounding like that.
Imagine coming out crying.
It's just really deep. It's really deep, man. If you hear his vocal range,
there's a YouTube video and someone commented, it's like, I never heard a Marlboro Red sing before.
That's funny.
To
put lips on a Marlboro pack and just have him singing.
Yeah.
And your song that you opened up this episode with, what's it called?
Oh, so that one, right. That one's called Pretty Little Stamps. It's kind of, you'll hear the lyric tramp in there. It's a lady and the tramp kind of story. Just about a broken man that's saved by love. And it was actually, it was inspired by, I wrote it as a wedding gift to my best friend who I was his best man at his wedding. Mr. Nicholas Burgoyne. I love you, Nick, wherever you are.
Shouts out to you,
Nick. He's back home in New Hampshire.
He loves you. He loves you.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, that song, it's evolved. It was real different then when I played it for the wedding, and just glad I could do it and share it at that moment. But it's developed, and it's interesting. I wanted to talk about this. It's strange how we write songs that are inspired by our own experience. It almost sounds like sometimes that we're telling our own story, but really it's like a ghost story of someone you've never met or something, And so, it's inspired by a lot of things for me, by Nick and myself and all this stuff, but it kind of created this own character, its own kind of story and its own thing. And that's where a lot of my songs come from. I'm not very good at doing like current events or topical kind of songs, that describe something exactly that happened to me or something like that. But I like stories, and I've always been into this kind of idea of storytelling in this imaginative kind of world. And so that one, that was probably the first most country song I ever wrote, because I wrote it like 6 or 7 years ago.
It sounds really good though.
It was kind of foreshadowing that I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing this stuff more regularly.
That's really good, man. I enjoyed it.
So do you have any stuff out right now, like Spotify? Are you on Spotify right now? Or?
Yeah, I got a kind of bluegrass tune out there called White Mountain Blue. It's actually, there's a video on YouTube, pretty cool. Like, it was a live video recording, so we have a cool live recording that's actually produced really well, and we also had a video live at the same lake where we filmed it all.
Saw that one.
Shout out to Don Richardson for putting that all together, and he's a great guy. Yeah. He actually works at the Bluegrass Festival up there in Maine. Anyway, he does a bunch of video recording with them, and so we work with him. And White Mountain Blues about coming down to Tennessee and kind of how I'm always gonna make it back to New Hampshire whenever I can, because I do miss it as home, and it's a quiet mountain town that's always be in my heart.
Yeah.
But
so what do you think about like Tennessee? I mean,
I love it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's real nice. Winter can be hard in New Hampshire. The snow doesn't come down like the stuff out in the Rockies. Comes down like powdered sugar. The snow in New Hampshire comes down like wet concrete, and then
oh no,
I
just had a visual.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a block of ice dropped on you.
Yeah. It's like that Home Alone moment where he throws a brick at you.
Yeah, when it's there and you got to shovel that, it is so heavy, and then it just freezes into a block. And
oh god,
there is some beautiful snow every once in a while, but it's kind of New Hampshire's a pretty rugged place. The coast of Maine's pretty rugged too, and it's beautiful, though. I'll tell you what, it is beautiful. The White Mountains, that's where the song gets its name from. Is White Mountain Blues.
I say your song titles are really good.
Really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Do you ever use, for like a snow context? Do you ever use like a weird item at the house to remove like all the ice in your car, like on your car? I use a a chopping board to
Oh,
scrape
yes,
those,
that's right.
to scrape those eyes of the.
Yeah.
Do you
just
have
use
any special gear that you use? Or you
No, just
you're
a,
proper?
just a regular ice scraper.
Oh,
We got a
okay,
lot
yeah,
of
I
those.
think, so it's just me, I guess.
Let's use a credit card
Credit
or
card,
yeah,
okay.
a credit card.
I
on
definitely
my
had to
fingers.
use the credit card before.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It takes forever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
Getting half off.
But yeah, dude. So you have any upcoming shows?
Right, so I'm at Poor Man's. It's the oldest bar in town in Clarksville. Love that place. Shout out
Yeah.
to Donna and
Put
Bill.
the claps on, man, for that. Poor
Yeah,
man's, let's
Poor
go.
Man, let's go.
Poor Man's Country Club. Love that spot.
There you go.
And that'll be the 29th. Just got that one booked. And then I'll be at Shelby's Trio on December 13th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then other than that, yeah, I'm booking through 2025. I've got a few dates with Star Spangled on Riverside here in Clarksville. And I'm trying to, of course, always looking to book towards Nashville more. But it's so washed out, I enjoy just playing around here,
Yeah.
It's true.
and
That's
just,
true.
building this musical community with these wonderful people right here.
Hey, man, we're honored
Yeah,
to be
we're
playing
just-
on
we're
the
just
same
out here.
stage as you, man. We
Yeah,
out
yeah.
here.
So you gotta sign this poster for me later.
Yeah. I got a
Just
Sharpie
in
here
case,
somewhere.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One of one.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and a cool thing coming up too. You might be interested in this. Is a world class, like award-winning global sensation on the classical guitar. Is coming on November 8th to Nashville, right? So I've been working with Classical Guitar Nashville, and they give open and free concerts to the public. And on November 8th, there's we can link some info to it. I'm working with them, making promo videos, and yeah, Raphael Fuyat is coming through, and
That'd
he's
be interesting.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
think I seen a TikTok promo video for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
okay.
think so. But that's something I would be interesting to see because I don't know what it is, but classical guitar just it hugs me. Like, I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how to play it yet, but I can envision. Like I can see it in my head. I just can't put it like to practical use. You know what I mean? But I love to hear it.
Oh,
Every
man.
Sunday or Saturday afternoon, I just turn it on and then just let it go. Just let it go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like music to my ears.
Yeah.
man,
So
that's beautiful.
what will be what for Colin Isotti the next 5 years? What's gonna be the plan?
Right.
I know that's 5 years is
That's a long time.
that's a long
man.
time, but you know
Yeah.
how time it is right now. Like it just flies, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah, it's good to have these 5-year plans. Really is. I'm just barely getting acclimated to having some stability down here, and I'm doing this thing where I'm being a part-time professor, or I'm just teaching out of college, and learning how to do that thing while balancing gigs. And I like it because it's just a story of trying to figure out this world of music, and just I enjoy being involved with it as much as I can. So everything has its scheduling difficulties, that's for sure. School is certainly tough on that side. Teaching, it can be rigorous at times, but I love it. I find it very fulfilling, and I never thought I'd teach, so I'm kind of refiguring out myself in ways like that, and I'm really enjoying aspect of teaching, so I think I'd like to continue doing so. I don't know if that means going for a full position, but I guess it's less important to me, actually. I just know I'm going to teach either privately or whatever from here on out, because it's fulfilling. And then, I'm still on the same track. I'm going to be recording my albums.
Yeah.
I have a classical album that I need to record. I have a book. I'm really, really close to publishing
Oh
a
wow.
book.
Put
That
that
was
that
really
song,
good.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's
good.
phenomenal. I'd buy that book. I
Oh.
need it.
Yeah, and it's a series of classical guitar pieces. Some of are introductory, kind of guide you through some technique and stuff,
Wow.
and,
Yeah.
and all original compositions. And so I love composing. So I eventually got to record the album of I got to record these the videos and the songs of these compositions that I'm going to put out, and I guess that'd be an album at the end of it, And then I just got to keep writing a few more songs, and I think I'm ready to demo my first full kind of folk Americana album, and that's really where I want to be.
People needing
so.
a lot more. It might sound like there's a lot of Americanas out there, but yours is definitely one to keep
Listen
an
to.
eye out. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
thank you.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
definitely,
so-
man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man.
Do you have any question?
Gotta say, man, you are an inspiration to me now that I know more about you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because if it wasn't for like the Amsterdam stuff, I don't think we would have met. Because he told me, yeah, that's he does like teaches classical guitar at APSU. I'm like, really? I
Yeah.
want to do that. I didn't know they had
I
that
didn't know
program.
I didn't know that as
Yeah,
well. I just saw him.
Yeah, I didn't know they had that program either. And when I heard it, it's like I fell in love again. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Awesome.
I had a question too. For nylon, what's the best guitar to get if you're gonna? I know that I'm gonna start it. You know what I mean? Even if I do it in the school or I ask you to
just
teach
get
me
it.
privately, what kind of nylon do you recommend me getting?
Right, the type of guitar. Well, classicals.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, intro. For a reasonable price, you might go for a Cordoba. That's kind of a basic entry level. You want to kind of just start easy. You don't want to get too into, because whereas lots of other guitars, you can add pedals and amplifiers and things to that. Classical guitars are all built in there, so they can get expensive fast.
Yeah.
Like really high. What they say is like an entry level like if you're actually going to give a classical concert, it's like probably around $5,000 for.
Oh no, I'm not.
Yeah, so,
Is that
yeah,
the most expensive one, or there's more?
no.
Let's not talk about like
Yeah, not
electrics.
the-
I'm talking
yeah.
about like what would be like.
Oh, about $500. You can probably get into a Cordoba that'll work all right.
And
something
what's
like that.
$5,000.
what's another one next to that? That's like
So like you got like Alvarez, you got guitar, they're interesting. Classical guitar is much more steeped in a world of hand-built guitars. So you can get entry-level guitars that are handmade for you by
It's fitted
luthiers.
to your body.
Really?
Yeah, that are
crazy.
hand,
Oh my God.
it might not be, they have to do an entry level one if you're trying to spend, within $1,000. It's hard to find one that's that cheap. But the world of classical guitar is just a slew of different luthiers. It's kind of not like the other ones where we have major brands. Major brands usually don't get popular in classical guitar. Like they sell a lot of guitars, but any concert performer has a completely unique kind of guitar.
Okay.
And builder, And the best way is to just find what deal you can with another classical guitarist or luthier. Lots of times the luthiers are trading these guitars, and they will connect you with that. And I know several of them, so I can hook you up.
Yeah,
We'll
man.
find you one.
I mean, I have one at my place in Jersey, but the auction is like way too high. So if I still use it, I have to like take it to a store or shop or something like that. Let them like reduce the auction and play, because I got it in Afghanistan, so it's like very important to me, because all the people that I deployed with when I was in, they signed it. So yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah. So it's gonna
You know what
that
type of
might be the
guitar it
one
is?
that I use.
Yeah, bring it down. We'll look at it.
Well,
Well,
definitely.
one thing about guitar though, I mean, I'm not. The last time we had a conversation about your guitar, I asked like, "What kind of guitar do you have?" Well, this one is a beater. I was like, it's really like cheap,
Yeah.
but he make that sound.
Then
That
you hear him
guitar
play.
sound like $1 million. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not really like.
Yeah, and that's, I've students ask me all the time, hey, what's a good guitar to get? It's like, first off, you can't go by brand, because I've played $5,000 Martins that I want nothing to do with. I don't like them. I don't like how they play. I've played I played amazing Martins that I'm like, this is the best guitar in the world too. I want this. But I've also played, Pawn Shop. Pawn Shop's a good place to go
that's
check
where I
out
go.
guitars.
I probably get bro. He has the hookup on
Marketplace,
everything,
I
dude.
go Facebook Marketplace.
Exactly,
every time, you know
Marketplace.
what I'm saying?
The reason I say pawn shop, any place you can go in, if you can't play guitar well yourself, but you guys don't have a problem with that. But if you can't play guitar well yourself, go with someone who can and play every guitar on the wall, and you'll find one that speaks or plays easy, sounds good, and it might be a Yamaha, it might be a Taylor, it might be $3,000, it might not though, And that was the thing with my cheap little Court that I have, It's nice to have a beater guitar. I don't need to worry about it when I'm on stage and stuff. I can tape stuff to it. There's no I got to keep it pretty or anything. But the whole thing is that I just played it in the shop, and I was like, this guitar sounds good. That's the important part. Playability sounds good. Brand name matters less.
Yeah, that's how I like my Taylor too. I wanted Martin for the longest while, and then when I hit 23, I think something like that. I don't know, 25, 26. I held like the baby Taylor for the first time, Taylor Mini, and I was like, oh, okay, I want this now. Yeah. Since then, I was like all Taylor.
Those are great guitars too. Yeah, the three. Yeah.
But well, anyway, running out a little bit of time here, but I just want to really appreciate you, being here with
Thank you for
us and
coming.
start here. And
y'all.
again, like briefly, your show.
What's that?
Your show quickly, like tell us your upcoming show.
Oh yeah, again. So yeah, Poor Man's on the 29th, and then the December 13th at Shelby's Trio upstairs.
Yes,
There you
sir.
go.
See y'all out there.
And this is the man himself, Colin
Oh,
Isotti.
Jay.
It's Saturday.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
really
being
great
here,
set.
man.
Oh, last thing. What was the song again? Like that you sang earlier?
It's called Pretty Little Stamps.
Pretty little stamps,
Okay,
man.
make sure y'all check Colin and
Yeah, man. Check out his
Spotify.
social.
We got music video project coming out. And
Most
everything.
definitely,
Yeah, we
most
do.
definitely.
It's coming out
we
soon.
do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Don't let it be the last time you come to the Anything and Everything podcast. And don't be afraid to let people know your mind. If somebody pisses you off that week on the way here, tell them F you on the camera. And yeah. And most of all, do not forget to use your freaking turn signals.
And you know how to fix that?
How?
Yes.
You gotta follow blinker light.
Let's go. All right. See you guys on the next one. My name is Jay Ammo, man.
My name is June Espinosa.
Say your name.
Colin Isotti.
There you
Hey,
go. Good
hey,
job.
how you doing?
All right, let's see you guys
Let's go.
later.
We're out.
We are out.